That's what free speech is about. Not everything we agree with, right? And I also want to talk about the Center for Political Innovation. I've interviewed Caleb Maupin in one of the segments, if you heard the radio show a while back. He wrote a book about Kamala Harris, which I think Tulsi Gabbard read, or because some of the content she shared at the debate, if you remember. But anyway, we're opening a local chapter here in the LA area for Center for Political Innovation. They took a lot of books to the Libertarian Convention, to the Democratic Party Convention, this one in particular, Do You Believe in Growth? Why Russia and China Keep Rising While the US Society Stifles Innovation. And we are anti-imperialism. We are pro-peace, pro-growth, not degrowth like the system is that we live in, and we need to change that. China is not our enemy. Russia is not our enemy. Iran is not our enemy. Venezuela is not our enemy. We need to move forward beyond left and right where it matters and find a new way forward. All of us, we need to work in unity, whether it's on the local level, national, or connect internationally. We need to be open to change and growth and learn together and be together in solidarity together.
Hello friends and comrades, this is Dan, Nowman, Nicewander, and I'm right now in Arlington Gardens, which is in a small city as part of the LA area, and amidst crepe myrtle trees that used to be part of an art project, real trees, that was called Wish Trees for Pasadena, from Yoko Ono, former wife of Beatle John Lennon. And basically people write wishes and attach them to the tree branches. I mean, a lot of them are individualized messages, you know, wanting the best for their friends and family and you know, to have a better life and all the things that you would expect. You know, a safe and healthy delivery of a baby. I wish for wisdom and knowledge, you know, those are good things. And I see a message here that says, may you all be free, may you all have peace, may you all be well. This is CPI L.A.
Hello.
It's,
Hey CPI.
hey.
Hey everyone. I'm Patrick Cleary.
I'm Ishmael.
And I'm Dan, of course, and we're doing some strategizing and discussing about what we want to do to start our presence here in the LA area. CPI, we're here at the end of the parade route in East Pasadena, and people lining up here to go look at the floats after the parade. So we're carrying our sign which says we need a government of action.
To fight for working people.
Yes, exactly.
We're only gonna get it if we build it ourselves.
The Uhuru case,
Yeah.
that was actually a victory for free speech.
Yeah.
You know.
The jury understood there was no evidence behind the charges, so they saw through that case, and they're exonerated. Thank God we have free speech still.
They tried. They said they don't want
So
nothing to do with us.
all respect to the Uhuru 3.
So we're here at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion, which is featuring 3 performances of Shen. There was one earlier this afternoon. This is the one evening performance, and then there's a Sunday performance at 1 o'clock on Sunday, tomorrow, when I'm recording this. And here with Ishmael, we're getting looks.
China before communism. This show's trying to portray China was better before communism, but it wasn't. And it's trying to pull out your heartstrings to say like, oh, we gotta go and restore this beautiful feudal society where like people were dancing around and music was everywhere. But this is just so to manufacture consent so Americans are able to agree and say, yeah, we must do regime change in China, and we must bring this beautiful culture that is being oppressed by the heartless communists. while the communists were the ones that have raised China's living standards to way better than we as Americans could imagine. I've seen the information.
The people there
I've seen
were
the
against
Chinese.
the government.
No, they're not.
The people are what?
The people there were against
Like
the
I have a
government
bunch of Chinese
So-
people saying that they love the Communist Party from China.
Yeah.
They're in Chinese.
because they worship brand.
Well,
everywhere here-
brainwashing can go both ways, sir. For them, it was a cultural thing, and he saw our sign that said, no war with China. Well, that seemed to be his main focus,
Yeah.
not Russia,
war.
Iran, or World War III. And that was the whole focus. You just saw a little bit of it, So we proceeded to tell him about the tagline that's used in all the commercial advertising out there, which is China before communism. And for him, he said that was all culturally. Everything was about the culture, the dancing and the music and all that kind of stuff. And it's beautiful. I'm not denying that. But when we would talk about obviously the big C, it was a whole different kind of a conversation, and so we were trying to be balanced, I think. My take on it is, and we were also trying to, while he and the other person, the woman that you heard, were bringing in the Chinese perspective as people that were born and raised in mainland China. We were talking about the American perspective, the U.S. American perspective, in specifically to explain to him why, for China before communism to us is political. Manny here is you're a union guy, right?
Well, I used to be.
Used to be. Oh, with the LAUSD.
Yeah, so I was telling the guys here to maintain our freedoms. We've learned a lot from these past 4 years. So we're looking at the vaccine mandate from LAUSD. First, we protested, right, with Dan, with our friends, with Joey here, almost on a weekly basis in 2021. So that's the first step that I learned, right, to get our voices out, protest. And then California Educators for Medical Freedom is a small group of teachers. We banded together and we pooled our resources and we all chipped in for our lawsuit against LAUSD. And as you know, lawsuits take a long time. In 2022, we actually lost in the district courts, but we didn't give up there. We kept on going, and our partner group, Hill Freedom Defense Fund, so we took it to the Ninth Circuit Courts of Appeals, and in September 2023, the courts actually ruled in our favor. They overturned LAUSD's mandate.
And that's for the vaccine, right?
Yeah,
or
for the vaccine.
Anything else besides that?
For the vaccine mandate with LAUSD.
Everyone's really struggling, and I'm lucky enough where my house survived. About 10 houses survived on my street. There used to be 40 houses on that street.
Wow.
But I've been pretty much roughing it. We don't have water until April at the earliest. But we didn't have power until the day before Valentine's Day. And then the day of the day of before Valentine's Day, we had a mudslide and a flood at the same time. And so I had to evacuate my house the third time. I'm on the Facebook groups and stuff all the time, constantly absorbing stories and situations of other Palestinians in my area. But even with that, I couldn't count on one hand people that are selling that I've seen say that out loud. I imagine some of them are a little embarrassed or a little feeling shame over them deciding to sell and simply haven't made it public. I have heard some numbers come out currently that as of now, about a quarter or 25% of people who have been asked or polled, I'm not sure how they've done it, are feeling like they're going to have to sell.
Looks like the fire department is also involved here. Looks like people are in line waiting for some services. They've had 800, I think up to even 1,200 people staying here. Some of this work the community should not be doing.
Yeah.
That's why we need a government of action.
Fight for working families.
It takes action for the working families in need. Look at this. I mean, where's the government, right? The people are doing this. But what's the government going to think now? We don't have to do anything because the people are doing it? Is that the thing? Look at the shoes, all the shoes. Holy mackerel. Hello everybody, this is Dan and
Steven.
And we are here at the LA Times Festival of Books. What do you think, Steven? What's your first impression?
So, I think one instance that really stood out to me was when we were in conversation with members of the Worldwide Socialist Web, and we were talking to a number of people from there. We had discussed people such as Putin and the future of the anti-imperialist movement, and we were also having discussions with them on the position of CPI within the anti-imperialist movement. And we had some disagreements, but I think overall we came away with a pretty good understanding of the other side, and we are also confident that we represented CPI in a very positive light and manner.
We need a serious alternative, which is the Center for Political Innovation. No war with China, Russia, and Iran. Stop killing in Palestine, Yemen, Syria. Stop fascism and Nazism in Ukraine. Supporting round 3 of Bernie means you may need, or you definitely need, therapy. And no wars on behalf of Israel. Let's see okay. And don't bomb Iran and Yemen. Money for American families. The U.S. out of NATO. Center for Political Innovation. Of course, we are CPIUSA.org. And we need government action for working families, and that takes a movement. So join us in L.A. if you want to go to a private event and workshop on May the 24th, 2025.